Thank you. I did all that with no mic on. So apologize. I called our meeting to order for April 21st, 2026 for our regular business meeting. Item 1 is our Invocation and Reflection. So I'm just going to share a few quotes with us this evening. And we had a lengthy discussion at our first meeting. I'm sorry, we're not all in chambers yet as we're resuming, but I just wanted to share some quotes about children. Children are the world's most valuable resources and its best hope for the future. That is from JFK, or John Fitzgerald Kennedy. It's also easier to build strong children than it is to repair broken men. That's from Frederick Douglass. One child, one teacher, and one book can change the world. Malala Yousafzai. If we are to teach real peace in this world, and if we are to carry on a real war against war, then we have to begin with the children. Mahatma Gandhi. And there can be no keener revelation of a society's soul than the way that it treats its children. Nelson Mandela. So we had in-depth discussion earlier on the direction we see systemically for children in our community. And I hope this evening, as we continue deliberations, and we think about words of leaders in our history about the value and importance of children, we think about the investment that we make. And as leaders, that we always have a mindset on the seeds that we plant today and what that grows for the future of this community, the future that we don't see, but one that we are called and demanded to deliver is worthy of our children. With that, I'd like to share the pledge. All right, we'll go to item number 3, is roll call. Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner DeLue.
Here.
Commissioner Gisler.
Here.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler.
Here.
Commissioner Mazur.
Here.
Commissioner Morales.
Present.
Commissioner Ray.
Present.
Chair Strebs.
Here.
Vice Chair Taylor.
Here.
Commissioner Wheeler. 8 present.
All right, thank you. And again, Commissioner Wheeler is absent at a Women in Fire conference as a female firefighter. We'll go to item 4, our proclamations. So first we have a proclamation, request for approval, a proclamation honoring Redice Bradley. Are they with us this evening? Come forward. Vice Chair Pro Tem is going to join you. Please come to the podium. My apologies for mispronouncing your name, Redice. Thank you. I want to recognize Ms. Redice Bradley for her 25 years. Vice Chair Pro Tem.
Thank you, Chair. This is a proclamation to honor Redice Bradley. Whereas Redice Bradley has served the residents of Kalamazoo County for 25 years as of January 29th, 2026. And whereas Redice Bradley has faithfully served as county service specialist, and whereas the County of Kalamazoo wishes to acknowledge and honor employees who have longevity under the umbrella of county government, since it is through longevity and experience that the employee's particular field is achieved. And now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the County of Kalamazoo does hereby acknowledge and with gratitude the many years of dedicated service Radice Bradley has imparted to the residents of the county and offers its best wishes for many more years of mutual association.
So motion made and support. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Congratulations. Congratulations. All right, now we have a request for approval of a 25-year proclamation honoring Sasha Sloan. Sasha with us? Okay. I'd entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion is made by Vice Chair Taylor, supported by Commissioner Morales, recognizing Sasha Sloan for 25 years of service. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Congratulations, Sasha, and thank you for your service. All right. We'll go to our third recognition for employees, request for approval of 25-year proclamation honoring Jamie Grenfell. And I don't believe that they are attending. Is that correct? All right. So I'd entertain the motion. Motion made by Commissioner Ray, supported by, who was it? By Vice Chair Pro Tem. Any further discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Congratulations also to Jamie. Thank you for your service. All right, we'll go to item 2026-575. Request for approval proclaiming April 2026 as Kalamazoo Valley Community College Month. Commissioner Morales.
Thank you, Chair. Whereas more than 1,000 community and technical colleges, public and private in the United States have contributed enormously to the richness and accessibility of American higher education. More than 40% of all undergraduate college students in the nation today are enrolled in community colleges. And whereas by providing educational opportunities at cost and locations accessible to all who are qualified, community and technical colleges have greatly enhanced the opportunity for every ambitious student to enter a post-secondary school program. As community-based institutions provide varied programs and offer specialized training for thousands of occupations. And whereas this community has been served by Kalamazoo Valley Community College since 1966, supporting the advancement of Southwest Michigan by developing strong industry partnerships and providing state-of-the-art training and educational experiences. And whereas Kalamazoo Valley Community College is an accredited institution by the Higher Learning Commission and is accredited by several nationally recognized programmatic accreditors, including American Culinary Federation Educational Foundation Accrediting Commission, Committee on Accreditation of Educational Programs for the Emergency Medical Services Professions, Medical Assisting Education Review Board, Commission on Accreditation for Respiratory Care, Commission on Dental Accreditation, Accreditation Commission for Education and Nursing, American Alliance of Museums, Michigan Commission on Law Enforcement Standards, Michigan Sheriff's Association, Michigan Department of Licensing and Regulatory Affairs, Automotive Service Excellence Education Foundation, and Michigan Firefighters Training Council. Whereas approximately 10,000 students of all ages and backgrounds annually attend Kalamazoo Valley Community College to receive a superb education and earn degrees, certificates, and training that help them become skilled members of the workforce that propels economic growth and encourages learning and culture. And whereas Kalamazoo Valley Community College has been instrumental in revitalizing the county of Kalamazoo, with the Arcadia Commons campus, Center for New Media, Kalamazoo Valley Museum, and Bronson Healthy Living Campus. And now therefore be it proclaimed that the Kalamazoo County Board of Commissioners proclaims its support for Kalamazoo Valley Community College Month, April 2026, and reaffirms its commitment to principles of transparency, accountability, and public service that go beyond mere compliance with law to foster meaningful access and engagement.
Is there support? There we go. Motion made by Commissioner Morales, supported by Vice Chair Taylor. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, that motion carries. Let's go to communications. We have within our packet Childcare Millage proposal email correspondence. There are a number of individuals listed there: Ellen Foley, Rochelle Haybeck, Ashley Bergen, Andy Richards, Simone Schickler, Sarah Kostler, Heidi Albertson, and then I'll also recognize being in receipt of additional communications from Dick and Carol Schultz, Wendy Flora, and Dr. Charlie Davis. I believe others have come in during session, but I've not been able to review. Are there other communications that anyone wishes to bring forward? Commissioner Morales?
Thank you, Chair. So I've had some communications regarding the jail. An investigation was done, but I continue to have communication about the water issue that's going on there.
Vice Chair Pro Tem?
Thank you, Chair. Came to my attention that a former commissioner on this board, John and I served with him, Bob Brink, passed away recently, and the life story is going to be on April 28th. Believe it's going to be at the Metzler Life Funeral Home, and I think the burial is going to be on Wednesday, April 29th, out at Fort Custer Cemetery out over in Augusta. Just wanted to share deepest condolences. Bob was a good member of this. He was the chair, vice chair a couple of times. And his passing, he will be missed. And he was a good member to this board, brought out many proposals to fruition here. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair Pro Tem. Our condolences to Mr. Brink and his family. Commissioner Ray?
Thank you, Chair. I've also received multiple correspondence regarding the water in the jail, as well as emails regarding the childcare millage. Some in support and some in opposition. And that's about it. Thank you.
Commissioner Morales?
I have one more about Balcoma. That's a commissioner as well, right? Commissioner Barbara Abernathy Ryder, and her services will be, goodness, 1 second, on April 17 from 2:30 to 3:30 at Langland. Thank you.
Our condolences as well to their family. Thank you for lifting that up as well. Tough time for commissioners in April here. Okay. With that, no further communications. We also we're in receipt of ISK Permanent Supportive Housing ARPA Award Rejection Letter. So we had identified $66,000 to help cover a gap in federal funding due to instability, and that federal funding has since been restored. So those ARPA funds are no longer needed to stabilize, and we'll be able to allocate them in another manner. So that's good news. And thank you to the commission for being supportive there to get their programming some sure footing. Then we're also in receipt of item 2026-589, our Winter Solutions Report, January to March of 2026. Within that report, I identified we received or supported over 692 individual households And I need to see clarity. I'm not sure how many individuals that is, because a household could certainly contain more than one individual. But it was 1,600, I'm sorry, 16,511 bed nights. So the need is tremendous, and I know that those emergency shelters ended up full, extending capacity, and there was additional need because other community-based groups launched forward into other ways to try to meet the need. So a lot of planning to do next year, but I'm thankful to all of our partners that participated. Hope we learn from each cycle going forward. Anything further? All right, let's go to item 6, approval of minutes, item 2026-588. Request for approval of the April 7th Committee of the Whole and regular meeting minutes.
Support.
Motion is made by Vice Chair Taylor, supported by Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Right. Let's go to item 7, approval of the agenda as presented. Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve. Sorry. Make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Motion is made by Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler, supported by Commissioner DeLu, to approve the agenda as presented. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Administrator.
Chair, I just wanted to remind the body you wish to discuss the childcare resolution in the new business. Was that added?
It could be taken up in new business, or it could be taken up during member time as well from the floor. Do we want to rescind the motion for the agenda and restate it, or we could take it up later at member time? Vice Chair.
Chair, I would like to make a motion that we, during new business, discuss the childcare millage.
Support. The motion has been made, passed, and adopted for approval of the agenda. Do we need to rescind that motion to make this amendment?
Yes, ma'am. That's why we recommend, so to be a cleaner record.
Yes. So motion makers were Vice Chair Pro Tem and Commissioner DeLu. Would you approve rescinding the motion?
Okay, yeah.
Yes. And Commissioner DeLu, there is agreement. The agenda approval has been rescinded. Now, Commissioner Taylor, thank you so much.
Thank you, Chair. I would like to make a motion that we approve the agenda with the amendment of discussing the childcare millage during new business.
Support. Thank you. Motion is made by Vice Chair Taylor, supported by Commissioner Morales, to approve the agenda with the addition of discussion of childcare millage and new business. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, that motion carries. We've got an agenda. Let's go to item 8. This is an opportunity for presentations. We'll welcome forward Western Student Association update from Luke Kritzman, the WSA body president. Hi. Welcome. So you have there, I think you're going to find it. You got it.
It's not cool.
That's you. Welcome.
Sweet. Well, hello. Thank you guys for welcoming me and giving me this opportunity to speak on behalf of the Western Michigan University student government and the student body of Western Michigan University. This is my first time here. Actually, this is my first time in the building. So I was wandering the halls, getting situated, figuring out what kind of goes on in here. But my name is Luke Kritzman. I'm the student body president at Western Michigan University for this year, as well as we just went through our election season for the upcoming year because I won re-election. But, But we had this opportunity that came from an event that we called Dinner with Delegates, which was a big thing where, I don't know, I think some of you guys were there. Yes, there were a lot of people there. That was actually our largest one we've ever had. But this opportunity arose from that, in which we were trying to find ways to expand partnerships with the students of Western Michigan University and our local, the Kalamazoo area. And this was a great opportunity that came out of that. And we are excited to have regular presence here. And so, as this is my first time here, I think that this should be more of like an introductory thing of how how we kind of work. And so first I'll start with kind of our student government. So the Western Michigan University Student Government is the Western Student Association, and of which I head that. And we act similarly, not in operations, but similarly to national government. We have 3 branches: executive, legislative, judicial. I, of course, head the executive branch, and our legislative branch is the largest in the state of Michigan. We have over 360 students that regularly attend our meetings, and we have representatives from over 240 different clubs on campus. So we kind of provide a lot of financial assistance for these clubs as we get money through the university to distribute back to students. So that is one of our biggest features or tasks. But secondary, we just want to represent the voices of all students anywhere on campus, off campus. And so this has been a great opportunity just to talk about the different updates that we as student government have, as well as things happening in general with the student body. Granted, this is coming towards the end of April, so our graduation date is next Saturday. So this has been kind of a winding down time for a lot of students here. Many of us are staying over the summer, but we've had some of our big events just happening recently as we were preparing for graduation. So I'm just trying to think of the things that happened the past month. Over last Friday, we had a big local music festival called Broncopalooza, hosted by our campus activities board. This is the first time that we've done anything like this. Usually we'll see big artists come into town, like we had Young Gravy this fall and Juicy J last spring. But this time we thought, let's keep it more local, and we're trying to feature students as well as local bands, and it was a big success, and that was great. But graduation is coming up on next Saturday, in which over 2,000 degrees will be handed out to students, and we are trying to keep them in Kalamazoo to keep benefiting our community. But I kind of was thinking this could be more like informal, conversational, because I haven't really had the opportunity to speak too much with all of you guys, and I know this is most of your guys' first time seeing me, but that's a little bit about who I am, and I just want to know if you guys had any questions about who we are and what we do.
Commissioner Morellen.
I just want to say it's a great day to be a Bronco.
Yes,
Well,
it is.
I think, in student government, we have folks, moving forward in leadership, like State Senator Sean McCann right now running for Congress. He's a former student body president at Western. So, and it's a esteemed group that you find yourself in. So I appreciate you coming and getting engaged, and I look forward for more opportunities for us to do that. I think, retaining students that go to Western, to keep them here in the community, something I'm really interested in. Western is in my district, District 2, so I serve the student body's representative on this board, and I'm also a Bronco. So I'd love to hear, over time, ways that you'd like to see us engage with the student body, and things that we should understand are desires for young people in the community. What do we need here to help retain and grow our population and to keep our youth planted here?
Yeah, so like a little bit about that is we actually just yesterday also presented at the city commission meeting, in which we were talking about ways that we are going off campus. And one of these things is that we had asked the city commissioners about joining a working group to create a proposal for the Kalamazoo Foundation for Excellence to find some sort of aspirational project goal to get students more energized with the city of Kalamazoo and the general area. And so that's one big thing that we're trying to look at. There were some ideas that were tossed around, like having a lit paved path from campus to the new arena event center downtown, featuring student artwork, just finding ways that we can fund that. Other ideas tossed around would be like the idea of having better or more student housing, but downtown, to keep students to get students interacting with off-campus downtown area. Because if you live in the area, you're more likely to stay in the area than if you live a lot on the dorms. So these are ways that we are looking to broadening out and finding different projects that we can do around campus as well.
Wonderful, exciting ideas. Thank you, Vice Chair.
Thank you, Chair. And I think the person that would be great at facilitating those conversations, you were sitting next to her in the audience, Jane Ghosh, would be great at facilitating those types of things. I know that is a goal or aspiration of one of Discover Kalamazoo's, is get people come here, live here, stay here. I'm happy to help out in that endeavor as well. And it goes both ways. If there's anything that you need or any of your officers need, reach out to us or reach out to the city commissioner, county commissioners. We're happy to help. We're excited to try to make this a great place to live, work, and play.
Commissioner Morales.
So I do have a question. As I'm not sure if you're aware, we do have a housing millage going. And a lot of my constituents, I work at Kalamazoo Valley, students are facing home insecurities and so housing insecurities. Do you hear a lot of that as president on the board with students facing that, especially if they're not residents of Kalamazoo or during breaks when they may not be allowed to stay on campus because they're not an athlete?
We haven't really heard, at least from me, I'm sure these issues exist, but from my perspective, I've not heard too many issues. Some of the things that we have been hearing of is like when new dorms are being built, like there's new dorm buildings coming up in the valleys, and RIP, that's where I lived. But but with that, there was a decrease in beds, and a lot of those dorms are more for freshmen, and so a lot of upperclassmen that do try to live in the dorms were losing spaces in having to accommodate for more freshmen. So that was just some issues, but there wasn't really too much of a solution to that because they're actively building dorms. As it comes to off campus, we haven't really heard too many issues, but one of the things that we do offer is we started up a free legal aid program through our student government. And so we have lawyers from the Kalamazoo area coming in with a variety of topics. And one of the things that we were focusing on is housing and rentals. So if you're having issues with landlords or leases, that you can utilize us as a resource to figure out legal issues. But that's just a start.
Thank you very much, Luke. We appreciate you taking the time and connecting with us, and we'll be hearing from you in the future.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Gotta have hope for the future. That's good stuff. Okay. Let's go to item 9, public hearings. We have none this evening. Let's go to item 10, public comment. So again, public comment can be made in person or by phone at 855-925-2801, entering meeting code 10748, pressing *3 to join the queue. If you wish to speak during both public comment periods, you must press *3 again. Anytime after the first public comment period ends, it's your first opportunity to address the board for up to 3 minutes in a professional and respectful manner on any topic. Once you're recognized, please share your name and where you're from. Is there anybody wishing to make a public comment? Welcome to you. There you found it. There it is. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all. My name is Jacqueline Fullerton. I'm Miss Jackie on the daycare on North Church Street. I have been doing daycare for a while, but I am a licensed daycare provider home group. And I just wanted to make mention of, I started off in 2013. Right after that, my daughter was murdered. And then I was working at the bank. And so I was having some health issues, but, bills rolls on and, you need money. So I started doing babysitting. And then I did non-exempt, when you get paid from the state for watching the kids, your relative. And so then I went into home licensing. And so we haven't had a raise in a while, and I just wanted to make mention, I wanted to do the best that I can do for even the staff that helps me, the children. We love the children at Miss Jackie's and then the kids call me Gan. And so I just wanted to see if we can just get the process moving and get the finances rolling in, so that it can be not only a help to me to expand, but to help my employees as well. Thank you. Any questions for me?
Thank you, Ms. Jacqueline. Welcome.
Good evening, Chair and Commissioners. My name is April Goodwin. I serve as the Executive Director for Southwest Childcare Resource and Referral here in Kalamazoo. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight about an issue that impacts every part of our community, childcare. Childcare is often seen as a private family challenge, but it is much more than that. Childcare is a workforce infrastructure. It supports economic stability, family well-being, and the healthy development of our young children. Every day, we at Childcare Resources, we hear from parents who are working hard, but still cannot find affordable care. Many wait months or even longer for an infant opening. Others patch together childcare just to keep their jobs. At the same time, the people caring for our children are amongst the lowest paying workers in our region. Yet, these professionals are entrusted with our children's safety, their learning, their development during the most important years of their life. We cannot say that children matter while undervaluing the people who care for them. The first 3 years are critical for brain development and future success. Quality early care helps children thrive, it supports parents, and it creates stronger families. Yet, families with children birthed to age 3 often have the fewest options. Home-based child care providers are especially important. They offer flexible, trusted care, and they help to fill the gaps that centers often cannot, and often provide a preferred environment for many of our children and our families. So this evening, I ask you to see childcare as an essential community system it is. Support providers, expand infant toddler care, and invest in working families. Because when families have childcare, they can go to work. When children thrive, our community thrives. I thank you for your time, and go Cougars and go Broncos.
Thank you, Ms. April. Is there anyone else wishing to make public comment? Welcome.
Hi, my name is Alfredo Lopez Torres. I live in the Westwood neighborhood of Kalamazoo County. I'm a parent of 2 young children, a 5-year-old daughter and a 1-year-old son. I'm speaking with all of you today because of the struggle to afford childcare impacting Kalamazoo families. The reality for a family in Kalamazoo is that childcare costs families $12,000 a year. That's for a single toddler. This is one of the highest cost burdens for families below rent. Parents have few options: quit, move, or go into debt. In Michigan alone, we lose nearly $3 billion in economic activity every year due to parents having to quit or cut hours. Kalamazoo has a deficit of about 140 facilities where support can be found. Additionally, families are often faced with making impossible trade-offs due to the costs involved. This is the affordability crisis in action. Childcare is a public good, not a luxury. Supporting a millage like this is investing in a future in which families can afford to stay in Kalamazoo, more parents can participate in our workforce, and every child has access to a safe, equitable environment. This is a statement that Kalamazoo cares about its children and respects its workers. Thank you.
Thank you, Alfredo. Is there anyone else? Welcome.
Good evening, Jane Ghosh with Discover Kalamazoo. I was delighted to see the WSA president on the agenda today because I think it helps acknowledge how important Kalamazoo Valley Community College is, as was acknowledged tonight, but also Western Michigan University is to the entire county, not just to the city of Kalamazoo. We are all fortunate in this county because we are the home of Western Michigan University. And this weekend is the Kalamazoo Marathon, those runners, both the half marathon and full marathon, will run through Waldo Stadium. Discover Kalamazoo is sponsoring the 50 state challenge. So there are people who aspire to run marathons in all 50 states. And we have people coming to run the full marathon from 30 states here to Kalamazoo. They're coming to Kalamazoo specifically to run the marathon, and they will see Waldo Stadium in Western Michigan University's campus on that run. Another piece of Waldo Stadium that has been in the news since the last time I spoke with you, you may not have seen, is that in January of 2027, January 30th to be specific, the former national champion men's hockey team, Western Michigan University Broncos, will play University of Michigan an outdoor game at Waldo Stadium. And that match was made possible in part by a gentleman on our team named Brad Beauregard, who helped apply for a large special event fund grant from MEDC, which we were able to receive, $200,000 grant that helped make that event possible. And it'll be a phenomenal trip-worthy event here to Kalamazoo County. So those are just some examples of how Western Michigan University helps bring people to our community. One last one, the International Congress on Medieval Studies starts immediately after graduation, which brings people from all around the world to Western Michigan University's campus. So thank you for that. The beginning of what I hope is a great partnership. Thank you.
Thank you, Jane. Welcome.
Hi, Beth Berglund. I'm the Director of Policy and Strategy at the Michigan Transformation Collective. I just wanted to provide a little update based on some prior conversations that we've had and proposals that you received back in December. So one of the issues that we had brought to your attention was this idea of a tri-share reimbursement model for small businesses. We're really thinking about the way that we can lower the cost of care for families by imploring employees to enroll in tri-share so that we can draw down that third of funds from the state and work with small businesses to sort of reimburse some of their investments in their employees, thereby reducing the cost of care for families by 2/3 instead of just a straight voucher for families. We did receive a grant and found a home for that grant to do a pilot for the tri-share reimbursement program. So we will be able to share with you some results of that, and we're working with some small business incubator folks in community to try to find the small businesses that we will enroll in that pilot. We expect that to start in the middle of the summer and to go for about a year. We'll be able to support 10 businesses, 10 families. So just to try and see what the mechanisms look like, see what their the processes are, work out some of those kinks in the idea, so that we'll be able to report back to all of you on that pilot. It was a $50,000 grant through the United Way, aligned to the Kalamazoo Blueprint for Peace. That grant was focused on housing, childcare, and transportation. Just wanted to let you all know that that was going to be moving forward, and we'll start enrollment this summer. Thanks.
Thank you. I am seeing no one else in chamber for public comment. Okay. Administrator, is there anyone online?
We do, and staff will bring them over in just a moment.
Thank you. Hello, are you able to hear us? This is your opportunity for public comment.
Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Please share your name and where you're from. Your floor is yours for 3 minutes.
My name is Mr. Hunter. I'm a homeowner in District 1, and I am calling about the mileage that will affect this district. I am calling in not support of it. I understand that children need the best care possible, but I feel like that shouldn't fall on us taxpayers. With all of the recent and current and planned development for District 1 that's currently happening, Arena, and all the development of Ransom Street, we have already been impacted. And when taxes go up, our mortgages go up. It's fine possibly for people that own their home outright, but mortgage holders will possibly feel the most impact because our mortgage will go higher and higher. And that is my opinion of not support of the mileage over 10 years for the District 1.
Thank you for taking the time.
Thank you.
And we have another. Are you able to hear us? This is your opportunity for public comment.
Hi, my name is Aliyah Abdul Mutakalim. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Welcome.
Hi, thank you so much. I am calling in as a lifelong Kalamazoo resident and a mother of twin boys and a reproductive justice advocate. My sons were born in May of 2020, right at the beginning of the COVID pandemic, and their father and I have really struggled on finding and affording childcare. Having one kid is already hard, but having unexpected twins in a global health crisis is an Olympic feat. And despite him having a very good job with the USPS, I have had to leave the workforce on 3 different occasions due to no longer qualifying for child care assistance. So that has really put a hindrance on my family's upward mobility. It has, I've had to really struggle like finding a career that was going to fit with my child care needs while my kid's father worked in person. So he has worked upwards of 60 to 70 hours a week, 5 to 6 days a week when we were together and I was a stay-at-home mom. It had very adverse effects on my mental health during my postpartum period. I had never intended to be a stay-at-home mom. I never wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. I like to work. I like being able to advocate for my community. I've been lucky enough to get an amazing job opportunity, but that is at the cost of foregoing assistance. They are in kindergarten now, and that is absolutely fantastic. And since they are in school, we do have that time during the school year, but we still struggle with finding like summer care and after school care. And now that, you know, we make a little bit more money economically, I have no problem with contributing to those who continue to struggle and who do not qualify for assistance. So we made too much money for assistance, about $400 over at the time, but we did not make enough to really be able to split that between like rent and basic necessities, really. So that is why I'm calling in support of the millage. If we want to be a community, if we want to say what our taxes want to go to and be able to have a say in that, we should be able to approve those things, and we should be able to use the voices of the people and also contribute to the most vulnerable, which a part of that demographic is going to be our kids and is going to be our family. Even if you don't have kids, you should be able to go into your workplace and know that your coworkers are going to be there, and so they don't have to call out, so they don't have to quit, and so people can continue to invest in our community. They want to be able to move to Michigan and stay in Michigan, particularly in Kalamazoo.
Thank you very much for taking the time.
Thank you.
Are there any others? Thank you, Administrator. All right, seeing none other in chamber, we will move on to item 11, our consent agenda. Entertain a motion for the approval of the consent agenda.
Chair, I move that we approve all items on the consent agenda and vote on them at one time and be considered as a consent agenda by the board.
Motion is made by Vice Chair Taylor, supported by Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler for the approval of the consent agenda. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, clerk, will you please call the roll?
Commissioner Gisler,
Yes.
You are in the meeting now. You are in the meeting now.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler,
Yes.
Commissioner Mazer,
Yes.
Commissioner Morales,
Yes.
Commissioner Ray,
Yes.
Chair Strubs,
Yes.
Vice Chair Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Wheeler, Commissioner Duluth.
Yes.
8 yes.
Thank you, clerk. That motion carries. All right. Let's take us to unfinished business and general orders. Item 2026-551, request for approval. Resolution approving the revised conflict of interest form. Entertain a motion. Commissioner Ray. Good. Motion is made by Commissioner Ray, supported by Commissioner Morales. Open for discussion, Vice Chair.
Yeah, I will not be supporting this motion. One, I think it should apply to everyone, including top non-elected officials and bureaucrats, all the way up and down, not just commissioners. And two, and this is a question for corporate counsel, I guess, the enforceability issue. What is the enforceability issue on this with commissioners, in that if they just say, I'm not gonna do it, there's really no way to remove them from office? I guess you could censure them. Is that what we're thinking?
Madam Chair?
Yes, Counsel. Thank you.
Thank you. There are criminal penalties involved. And one thing that should be, I guess, clarified is that the state statutes require members of this body to file in writing any potential conflict. Now, the state statute does say 7 days prior to that issue coming up. However, what the trend is and what the best practice of governance is that the elected bodies complete that form at the beginning of the year of potential conflicts, so that there's already notice that a conflict may arise or does exist, rather than having to keep going back through every time that might be. Because you may miss that. It may be something small that you may miss, but now there's a written record of that, and that can be brought to your remembrance at that time. But if there's a violation of any, excuse me, of what's termed the state ethics laws, there are criminal penalties that can be invoked. And I would also like to speak to the issue. The state statutes do apply to every public employee. They have to abide by what's commonly known as the state ethics rule. But because those employees are not elected officials, they don't have to provide in writing what those conflicts may be, like you do, but they still do have an obligation to report that conflict or potential conflict. Thank you.
Thank you, Counsel. Commissioner Morales.
So previously, when things came up, we just said we acknowledged that at that time, and you're saying we just need a 7-day notice?
Yes, ma'am, but it does have to be in writing. That's what the state statute calls for. But as is throughout the literature, throughout the research, it is just better to do it at the beginning of the year, in order to put the clerk on notice that a potential conflict may exist, and the other members of this body.
Commissioner Ray, and then Vice Chair Pro Tem.
Thank you, Chair. So this one will take place of the one that we already filled out for this year, correct? And then can you elaborate a little bit more on the 7-day notice? Like, what does that mean? And then does the clerk monitor or look at the forms before every meeting before we vote on things? Or is that where the 7-day rule thing comes in? I don't know what the 7-day notice is.
Counsel.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Unfortunately, the Michigan legislature has a terrible habit of adopting statutes that are ambiguous or not, I'm just going to say, not well written. And I think this is one of them. However, what the 7-day notice is, 7 days before tonight's meeting, if there was a potential conflict that you saw where you had to withhold, you would have to put that in writing to the clerk's office. However, say if there was a standing conflict that you had, it's already in writing with the clerk's office because you filled that out at the beginning of the year. So you don't have to do it every time that conflict may come up.
Hello, go ahead, Commissioner Ray.
Thank you, Chair. So how would the 7-day notice be possible? We don't get the packets until Friday evening.
Madam Chair, and that is one consideration in the best governance practices that oftentimes issues come to the body either after the 7-day would be required, or sometimes even at the last minute at the meeting. So by having it already in writing, filed with the finance office, as we will require, it's required to do so with my office, it would already be, you will already have met the requirements of the statute. Thank you.
Vice Chair Pro Tem.
Thank you, Chair. We already have been filling out these forms every year, and this was just a new one that elaborates more or something. I read through it and several times and I asked a few questions about it. I'm just curious as to why we've got to do another one now.
Council.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As you know, I only operate at the direction that I'm given. I was given the direction, I believe, by this body in order to review the form. I found the form that you had been filling out insufficient to comport with the statute, that it needed to be more detailed about what was happening with you and what is being reported as required by the state statute. And also, you still have a duty to update upon event happenings. Somebody wills you a stock. If it's more than what is allowed by the state statute, you have to report. You have to not only report that, but also refrain from voting, because under the state statute, say the stock is only worth $250 to you, you can still vote on those items that may be related to that. But if it's above that, then you have to refrain, but you also have to give the notice in writing.
Thank you. And I'll just say I do appreciate the council's work to be diligent to make sure that we are comporting with the law. And I think, it does ask us to disclose quite a bit of information. And I think it helps, build trust in governance that we're avoiding conflicts of interest or anything that's the appearance of a conflict of interest. That's due diligence on our part to do that. I do see Vice Chair has been waiting. Vice Chair.
Yeah, thank you very much. I don't recall us as a board giving direction to do that. I know that direction from corporate counsel needs to come from the board. It can't come from anybody else. But I don't recall giving direction that this is what the board wanted to update this form. That being said, I have no problem signing this form. If this body chooses to do it, I will fill it out and I will be in compliance with it. I just feel that there is far more likely ability, if we're really concerned about fraud and abuse and waste, we've got to cover all our bases. For instance, we can't have somebody's brother or sister who maybe is a high-level county employee that owns a company or something, and we get preferential bidding. That could happen just as much in the agenda setting as, say, a commissioner that votes on it. So if it was applied to all county employees and we were all going to do this, or at least the department heads or higher, that would, or anybody involved in the agenda setting, I would be voting yes. I will always be complying with this and the will of the body. But at this point, I'm going to be voting no on this. And I do not think it is a direction or interest of the board to do that.
Thank you, Vice Chair. And I would say it was at our last meeting, we had initial discussion on a draft. And we did provide direction to council at that time to go forward, to refine it further with the feedback that was received, rather than telling him to table it or drop it. So we did ask him to move forward. Council?
Thank you, Madam Chair. If it is the will of this body, amendment to your bylaws to make this applicable to senior level employees to disclose in writing is possible and within the bounds of the state statute. And if that is the will of the body, it would be my suggestion that you go forward with this today with the instruction to Corporation Counsel to start drafting that bylaw amendment.
Vice Chair, yes.
Would an amendment to this work as well? We could just pass it unanimously, just an amendment to passing this and instructing corporate counsel at our next meeting to make this applicable or find a way to make it applicable to senior level department heads and management. Because I mean, if we're really gonna go after waste fraud, I trust everybody here. I don't think John Gissler is stealing $100 bills in his pocket on his way home or anything like that. And but I mean, if we're gonna create a system, it should be, regardless of the people, it should be about the system.
Yeah.
And that's my preference. Can we do a motion to amend?
So it does sound, we'll let council opine on that, but it does seem the recommendation was to amend the bylaws. And this board could set the leadership standard with the threshold. And to be clear, I don't, there is no, as stated by Vice Chair, I mean, I think this board is good trusting relationships with one another. We have faith in our decision making and in our ethical standards. That's a level that we hold in high regard. Our administration holds in high regard, and will set an example stepping forward in that action and then working to further demonstrate it to the organizational leadership. But, just to convey to the community, I mean, I have full faith and trust in the ethics of our body and our employees. And certainly we set a standard so that if, there are bad actors, there is accountability for that, both publicly and legally. Okay, council.
Just two last things. I'd like to clarify also that, for the record, that these would not be held by the clerk, but by finance and my office. We would have copies of these items. And then the second thing is, rather than adding an amendment, may I suggest that my office be given 4 weeks to work on this? And I say that because if it is the desire of the body to add the senior level employees to the requirement to submit in writing any conflict of interest, I'd like the opportunity to speak with HR, because I think that would be while the bylaw exists, the regulation itself will be in the personnel policy. And I would like to confer with Director Sharon Brown on those matters.
So then do we need to table to a date certain then is the recommendation, council?
Yes.
What is the date that then you recommend?
May 19th. Thank you, Oshtemo.
First meeting in May is May 5th. That's 2 weeks out. So it'd be May the 19th?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So there's a recommendation, would it require a motion to table to a date certain?
I move that we table this item till the May 19th meeting.
Motion is made by Vice Chair Taylor, supported by Commissioner Morales, to table conflict of interest revision until May the 19th. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. All right. Thank you for that discussion, commissioners.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, council. All right. Let's see. We are to item 13, new business or non-consent. As we open discussion here, back on the childcare millage, we've, proposed a couple of different options. A final vote needs to come forward before this body in 2 weeks. And I would suggest that there are some impacts to changing the proposed terms that the board may or may not have been able to fully vet and consider. And so I think we've heard the general support of, for the valid proposal to move forward. Really, what's at hand is the term that will be available. And I think some additional fact finding and dialogue might be valuable to help inform what that term would look like. And so I would propose that we take up that discussion in 2 weeks to determine the term. Vice Chair?
There does not need to be a vote, and this is a corporate counsel question. There does not need to be a vote on the first reading. It just needs to be done as a first reading. Does the first reading have to be the exact same language as our second reading vote?
Thank you, Madam Chair. No, the resolution can be amended at the second reading also.
Thank you, counsel. Yes, Council.
And just may I, because the purpose of the first reading is to provide notice to the public so that they can give input, and there may be changes that you may desire and that you may wish to either take out or put in. So that's the rationale behind being allowed to make amendments at the second reading. Thank you.
Thank you, Council. So are commissioners open to having time to have more information presented to be informed about the term that we'll put forward to the voters? Right, I'm seeing no opposition there. Okay. All right, thank you. So with that, I'm going to close discussion with nothing further. We'll go to item 14. This is our second opportunity for public comment. You may join in person or online at the number stated previously. Once you're recognized, please share your name and where you're from. Is there anybody wishing to join us for public comment? I'm seeing none. Is there anyone online for this opportunity? All right. Seeing none there either, we will move on to item 15, reports of our officers, body, and administrator and controller. So I will just lead us off. I want to thank the commission again for our diligence, our work, our advocacy. This is a dedicated commission that really seeks to understand the needs of our constituencies and to bring them forward and advocate effectively. So I'm just thankful for my colleagues for all of that. I do want to celebrate the groundbreaking of the William Schmay House that occurred since our last meeting, and thank Commissioner Ray for being there, Administrator Catlin and our Housing Department Deputy Administrator. That was just a tremendous success. And this commission did a lot of work to help ensure that moved forward. Those are 48 units of deeply affordable housing dedicated to folks who are connected to our drug treatment court. That's why the program was named after former Judge Schmay for his groundbreaking work in bringing treatment courts to Kalamazoo and launching the first women's treatment court in the nation. And so the opportunity there for us to, again, impact children, the way that we help support people in recovery. This allows folks receiving treatment to not be isolated from their families, but maybe to be reunited with children, to be together and to change the trajectory of their lives. Again, another opportunity that we're going to celebrate before our next meeting is the launch of the landing place, where we're going to serve 70 or more families in transitional housing with full wraparound supports and services, again, committed to children and changing the trajectory for them with effective programming, supports, and services. And so I hope we see those investments, the dollars we spend there are so much more impactful than when we've let the systems break down, when we let the people struggle and suffer and get traumatized. And I'm hopeful as we move forward with the support of the Childcare and Early Learning Millage that we will live into that same mentality and do the same thing. I want to thank the community. I've been out talking with more people in the community lately and directly in person. And we have such an engaged community. They are so concerned with what's happening in the world around us. And people are ready to take collective action together to recognize the inequities that have continued to exist for so long don't have to be tolerated. We don't have to just accept that as the status quo. We can move solutions forward together if we're just bold enough to do it, right? And the bumps that we hit along the way as we work to solve problems are ones that we can also solve, but it's the doing nothing, which is what government usually does. when people are suffering, that's just not acceptable in these times. So I'm so proud of that work that this government and this body has been engaged in. And I thank you. Those are my comments tonight. Vice Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Just a few things I want to touch on. One, Vice Chair Pro Tem mentioned the Bob Brink had passed away. And I want to tell a little story about Bob Brink. In 2004, wasn't that long ago, just 22 years ago, I was just a young commissioner with way more hair. We did not have an anti-discrimination policy as it related to sexual orientation. Bob Brink was a Republican from Oshtemo Township and bucked his party and gotten a lot of hot water for passing an anti-discrimination policy in Kalamazoo County. And it took a lot of political courage for what he did back 20 some years ago. So I want to just shout out, and it happened in this chambers, and it was Bob Brink and Joe Van Bruggen who were ahead of their time. And I want to give a shout out to them. Also, the William Schmay House, the chair touched on that. What a great honor to be named after William Shea. Just an absolute treasure that we've had in our community. The start of drug courts, the start of rehabilitation in our criminal justice system, as opposed to just penalizing people and of a revolving door of criminality. He actually tried to rehabilitate and tried to look for ways to make people productive members of society instead of just trying to seek revenge. It was just, he was a wonderful judge. I still sometimes wish he was still presiding. The equalization report, we passed that tonight. It shows continued growth in Kalamazoo County. Our taxable base and our taxable value is growing faster than the rate of other areas in Michigan. It's because of our commitment from our business community, our philanthropic community, and everybody else in our community that makes this, you know, a great place. And we're continuing to build new homes. Our housing millage is a big portion of that continued growth in our equalization report. We passed Oshtemo Township sewer bonds of municipal partnerships with some of our smaller municipalities to make sure that they have the ability to fund the infrastructure projects they need to be successful for their residents and their business. And that was mentioned a few times tonight. We passed in our housekeeping $15,000 from our law enforcement contingency to go towards bottled water in our jail. We're taking that threat very seriously, and the situation that's gone on there, we are looking deep into our reserves, looking deep into our contingencies, and making sure that we're not forcing people in our jails to drink unsafe water. Can we be doing more? Probably. And I think at our next meeting, we should probably have a discussion on that. Our housekeeping, we've got unused $135,000 to our planning, lots of stuff that we've continued to do to make our community a better place. So with that, thank you very much, and it's a pleasure to serve with all of you.
Thank you, Vice Chair. I will share one thing also I forgot to say related to jail water issues. I do also want to take the time to thank Representative Rogers and Representative Longjohn, who came a couple months ago and toured the jail facilities with me, Sheriff Buller, to look at conditions within the jail. And when we, as leadership, we went to the Capitol Day and talked to legislators about budget allocations. One of the top priorities we elevated there was the rehabilitation of the jail facilities, because it is in poor condition. So just to continue to advocate on that behest, and we've got to find a solution to it. Let's go to Vice Chair Pro Tem.
Thank you, Chair. I want to thank the chair and many of us that came down to the groundbreaking for our new parking structure the other day. That was something that we've had so many complaints about, and we need to support our local area here, our courts and our administration building with adequate parking. And so I think that's a big thing. I also noted that they're doing a great deal of progress on the River's Edge apartment complex, which this county was a part of helping to get that underway. It looks like they're getting really close to where they'll be able to start getting folks into that. Thanks to our housing department, who has worked diligently to provide more adequate housing for our community. Also, several of the commissioners have been both at the emergency management's training center that we had out in Oshtemo a few weeks ago, and also at the Skywarn. John Gisler was there along with several township folks, township supervisors. So they had more people than they had anticipated, and there's a great deal of folks that are concerned about emergency management, as we should be, with the number of severe storms that we've had recently and whatnot. And it's good to see those people that are interested in taking care of our community. And I want to thank them for coming out and being part of the solution instead of part of the problem. So it's huge. I want to thank this board and our administration for their hard work on all of these issues that we're facing. And we've got a lot of work. We're going to have a lot on our plate over the next months to sort things out and prioritize, as Mr. Gisler would like to remind us. And I think it's important. We need to prioritize. We need to make every tax dollar work for the citizens of this county. And thanks for everybody's support, our administration, and all of our staff, some 900 some odd employees that we have that work diligently in our county to make Kalamazoo a great place to live, work, and play. And as I always say, we need to, when we see our military folks that are protecting us here and abroad, and our fire and police and medical people that are out there on a daily basis, even during all these storms and stuff, doing what we can to protect the public. I think it's critical that you say thank you to them. They appreciate hearing from you, and making them feel a little bit better about their sacrifices away from their families and friends to be out there trying to help folks in their hour of need. So thank you all. Have a great week.
Thank you, Vice Chair Pro Tem. Administrator Catlin.
Thank you, Chair, Vice Chair Pro Tem, Commissioners. This evening, I want to share an update about the jail water remediation activities. So the county continues to actively address these issues related to water quality concerns in the jail with state and city partners. Actions have been taken currently to replace the water meters. We've also flushed the entire facility. We've also are in the process of procuring inline water filtration systems, as well as replacing drinking water fountains with bottle filling stations for both staff and the public. Those efforts are underway, and they are either related to activities in terms of delay, or either related to supply chain issues and or just issues with just back order. And so our B&G department is staying on top of that, still working with state and city partners to actively test that water. Recent media reports suggested the county is not providing sufficient water is just totally inaccurate. We've certainly have met with the sheriff's office and want to dispel those rumors and allegations. Bottled water continues to be made available upon request, with distribution protocols in place to maintain safety and welfare of the facility. And so due to security concerns, residents are only provided one bottle at a time, as plastic bottles can be modified into potential weapons. And so those are the security protocols in place, and they must be maintained to maintain safety and security of not just staff, but those residents lodged in the jail. So it's important to note that per guidance of MDHHS, the water remains safe for showering and food preparation. System flushing may result in visible sediment, which is the case with any residential home, any business. When the city of Kalamazoo flushes the hydrants, that is very common in the system. So additional improvements and long-term remediation strategies are underway and will be informed by the MDHHS toxicologist as we move forward through the process. So timeline for full restoration for tap water service remains dependent on the supply chain issues and the factors associated with that equipment and materials, then as well as our MDHHS partners. So we're working actively to mitigate this issue and resolve it, and we'll continue to keep this body and the public up to date on that. And we have released a statement to that effect. I wanted to just chime in on the ARPA update. The body will receive an update on the May 6th meeting. Please note it is May 6th, not May 5th. May 5th is an election, so the next time we will meet will be Wednesday, May 6th. So you will receive an update ahead of time, but then in preparation for the meeting for review of the ARPA projects that are still in the queue. As you know, recently, ISK, as the chair mentioned, declined their $66,000 award because thank goodness their funding was restored. I did just receive an email tonight from Discover Kalamazoo indicating they could easily and effectively deploy that funding. So, folks are watching the meeting, and I know CEO Ghosh is here in the meeting, so obviously hearing it firsthand. So there are certainly projects and community partners that can use that funding to leverage. So as you know, and just as a reminder, that funding must be expended by December 31st, 2026. I wanted to just share a very quick update from Michigan Association of Counties. I believe actually the Capital Conference, or not Capital, but I know there's a conference coming up very soon. It might be this week or next week. But they are, and I know Vice Chair Taylor, frequently attends those, which is a great thing to continue to be able to bring back some information to share with it. The lobbyist within MAC does a lot of work on the state budget. They've noted that the House budgets look promising, but there's just a long way to go in Lansing. And so what that really means is that there's been movements on the budget. However, the Consensus Revenue Estimating Conference is scheduled May 15th. So while they're already compiling numbers, they don't know how much money they even have. So they are assembling packages, assembling budgets, but they really won't be able to drill down granularly until after May 15th, when they actually know how much money they're working with. MAC did share that statutory revenue sharing, as it stands today, without knowing what that estimating conference will hold, is up in terms of is up by 19.8 million. And then our public safety trust fund is up by 2.5 million. But again, all of that will kind of get shaken out once they have that estimating revenue conference, or revenue estimating conference rather, excuse me. And so that's some good news. They do fight hard for us, and we're hopeful that hopefully that's all maintained within the budget process. As you know, we were at least able for 2026 be able to remain flat year over year and not actually sustain a reduction. So that's a good thing. I want to just provide just a quick item on the Veteran Service Office, the Farmers Market Partnership. That was an item on the agenda tonight. So they're happy to announce an enhancement in the food assistance program for veterans in partnership with GAM Shows, which are operators of Park Street Market and Midtown Fresh. They will now be they've been selected to operate the Kalamazoo's Farmers Market. And so BSO issued food only cards will now be accepted at that farmers market, which is a great thing. It gives them access to fresh, locally produced food. And it really just allows them to sustain and support that local agriculture, kind of effort that we like to sustain here. And so that was item 2026-428 on the board's agenda tonight, if you want to go back and read more about that. I did send an email about a community engagement opportunity. So if you're interested in partnering with the Kalamazoo Public Library on May 20th from 10 to 11 to read to children, and they're there with their parents and guardians, but volunteers are needed for that. So please look at that email, review that, and look forward to contributing to an engaging, impactful literacy experience. It's important that our young ones hear from our elected officials and our leaders. So we plan to share this with the county courts, the other elected officials in the county-wise, and then also department heads and leaders in the county too, to see if they'd like to endeavor in that. As you know, sort of in memoriam to one of the commissioners that we've spoken about tonight, there's another former county commissioner that also passed away, Barbara Abernathy Ryder. And so she served on the commission for a couple of terms, or a few terms. So we just want to, express or extend rather our condolences to her family, friends, and all who were touched by the wonderful work and leadership that she's had in the county. There's a program within WMU that's actually named after her and her husband. She was a doctor of occupational therapy. And so she had a deep commitment for public service and community advancement, and actually contributed to that program's success. So highly recognized, and we can send out that obituary as well. So if you're interested in attending those services. We also lastly, I have two more items. There is a Brush the Block public art sponsorship opportunity that I wanted to share with the board, and I can get some more information to you all about that. The Brush the Block Mural Festival is a community-driven initiative led by the Arts Council of Greater Kalamazoo that focuses on activating public spaces through large-scale murals. And so they reached out asking if the county would like to sponsor the program for that, and what it would do is bring a mural to one of our current buildings, and probably likely in the downtown area if the body was interested. So the sponsorship for the mural package is about $10,000, and so I told them that I would share it with the body, and if there's interest, just through the chair, let us know, and that we can get full board discussion on the on an upcoming agenda. I believe they said the actual event takes place sometime, I want to say it was September or October this year, so it was a little bit later in the year, but they're trying to drum up the support now. And they did inform me that the city of Kalamazoo has participated in the past. So if there's interest in that, just let Chair Streps know, and then we can try to bake that into an agenda for a full board discussion. Yes, Chair.
I just have a question. Are those murals on the exterior of buildings, or can they be on the interior of a public space, like that big giant bare white wall in the Pratt Justice Center?
That's a great question. I will reach out to the Arts Council and ask that clarifying question. I would assume that they probably could do that, but we'll get that clarified and sent out to the board. And then the last item I had, just very quickly, is that we are scheduling Budget 101 training, more of equipping the body with the tool set to build a stronger understanding of the county budget, but then also how to manage it and hold us accountable. And so that training will be conducted only with internal staff. No external consultants will be present. And then to accommodate the schedules, as we held the last training just here yesterday, yesterday it's already, So, but that training, what we found is that just the scheduling, it's tough. So I want to gauge the board's availability in terms of night meetings. So, or a night's, I guess I'd leave it up to the body. We were thinking either starting at 5:30, or we can start, I mean, we're here all day anyway. So whatever is beneficial to, because we want the board to be there in advance of the budget process and the budget retreat, so that every commissioner understands how the budget works, what to look for in the monthly finance reports, what to look for in the monthly investment reports, those sort of things. So you just feel better equipped. So we're looking for some dates potentially in May ahead of the July budget retreat. So that's all I have for you, but I would love some feedback on that sooner than later.
Yeah, and I think like around that 3 and 4 o'clock time when people are trying to pick up their kids, that's a difficult time. But I know, so if you could please provide Dr. Kinlan if daytime meetings are better or evening meetings, but that late afternoon, I think, is a particular tough spot for most of us, or quite a number of us anyway. Do you want to go first or last? Go ahead. Oh, yes, absolutely. I'll go Commissioner Ray and then Commissioner Kiss.
I just have a couple questions. And my vote would be for morning meetings, daytime. I have some questions, like a follow-up question. You were talking a little bit fast when you were giving some updates about the jail. When you said they were going to be replacing the water bottles with water bottle fillers or something, and you said for staff and public, is that not for the inmates, or who exactly is that for, and what exactly is it? I'm sorry, I missed it.
That's a great question. So the bottle water filler stations are only for the public and staff that are traversing the like administration portions of the jail, offices, that sort of thing. So those water fountains have been taken offline as well, and so we can replace those similar to the stations that we have right out here in the hallway. So that's mainly for them. The other tap water is really I would say the priority for us to get back up and running and functioning for the actual residence lodge at the jail. So they don't have access to bottle water filling stations, rather. So
okay. And so as far as getting the tap water back up and running, per the media, undersheriff said that it will take 6 to 8 months to repair. Is that like an accurate timeline?
Sure. Yeah. So Commissioner Reed, what we envision is that we're following process. I can't give the board or the public a definitive timeline. I will just say that we've ordered equipment, we've ordered materials, we're working with the state to remediate the issue. So we're hopeful that it would be sooner than that, but I can't provide a timeline at this point until equipment orders and schedules are provided to us.
Okay, and then Chair, just one more follow-up question. I saw an email today about getting like gallon-sized waters or jugs or whatever are those for the inmates for like in the cells, or like what are we doing here? The mixed things with the bottled water, like some folks are saying we're not really getting 7, and then the sheriff is saying we are getting 7, but like there are multiple people who are like, I just got out and we're not getting 7. So like, what are we really doing?
According to the sheriff's office, every resident lodged at the jail is provided adequate amount of water upon request. So it's an exchange program. They receive a bottle and they must exchange the bottle to get a new fresh bottle of water. There is a limit of 7 that has been imposed, but that's a loose limit. If residents need more water, the staff will provide them more water. I believe part of the issue likely is that staff or that residents at the jail are likely I would say, sort of, I don't know the word I'm trying to figure out here, but upset that possibly when they request an exchange of a bottle, it's just not delivered to them on their timeline. And so, obviously, with there being over 400 residents at the jail, it takes time for them to go through those requests. But they are being provided water on a very specific timeline, and I would say timely. It just might not be to their standards. And we're doing the best that we can at the sheriff's office to provide the residents with water. To speak to your question about the gallon size, what that would do is alleviate probably that sense of, that sense of urgency that residents feel like probably staff aren't providing to them. So they would have a larger bottle of water to deal or to consume, so that they're not asking more frequently for water. It'd be a more infrequent request if they were provided something like a liter or a gallon of water or something like that.
I will go to the inmates.
That is correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there maybe a possibility to get like the 5-gallon jugs? Maybe, I don't know. It just sounds like if I have to make my noodles in this water and it's all I get to drink, like how do I decide? Do I gotta brush my teeth in it? Like, it's only 7 bottles a day, and is that enough water?
So the general rule of thumb is that the average human should be consuming half of their body weight in ounces, right, of water. The 7 bottles of water is very sufficient for the average human being. And the sheriff's office has went above and beyond by stating, we're not just providing 7, we're providing the water upon request. They just established this loose limit so that we could budget and provide the body with a number to budget adequately as we procure water in the interim to remediate the issue. But again, I will clarify that residents are provided enough water if they request it. What we're getting to is hearsay, I'll be honest. And so what I want to caution the body is that while you may have residents indicating that they're not providing water, the sheriff's office has on the record stated that they are providing the water. So I think that we need to provide at least the sheriff's office with the benefit of the doubt that they are providing the water, because we are going through the water pretty quickly, and that's why the $15,000 a month request is on the agenda to continue to replenish their account to procure the water. So I do just want to, just reorient the board to that.
Thank you, Administrator. And I just want to note that it's not that we're not providing the sheriff with the benefit of the doubt, but like people are calling me, like I check my phone during break and I'm tagged in another, we're not getting water. So I think for my constituents, it's important that I'm asking these questions. And it's not that I doubt that the sheriff is giving people water, but I have to ask those questions. It's important to know for my constituents.
Thank you. Something too, I think we've talked previously about the larger container of water would decrease the number of exchanges that are required, and also probably create a little bit of psychological safety for the resident in the jail, that they don't have just this much water in front of them. They have a more robust container. But that's going to become a bigger issue, especially as it gets hot, because our jail facility gets very humid, very hot inside, and water needs will increase at that time. So I know the sheriff and the team at the jail are working diligently to problem solve through this, and we'll do what we can to expedite the improvement of the equipment, collaboration with the city water for chemistry on the water and all of that. But the concern's going to escalate as it gets hot. You know, it's going to be very difficult. Okay, Commissioner Gisler had.
Thank you, Chair. Kevin, can you give us a quick update on the north entrance? Is that coming along?
Yes, that project is about, that's a great question, Commissioner Gissler. So commissioners, it's just a phenomenal question. I always forget to update it because we're just in it every day. But yes, that project is about 8 to 10 weeks out, again, because of supply chain issues and scheduling laborers to do the work. So that material has been ordered. Orders have been placed. So we hope within about the next 2 months, it'll be all tidied up. The elevator has, I would say, semi-promising news. A lot of the components on the left side actually are still usable. They're just ordering the parts and pieces that they need to piece that one back together. So, but that's still probably minimum 2 months, 3 months out still. But B&G is working on that to procure the necessary materials to get that elevator, the other elevator back up and running as well. So probably, hopefully, within the next 2 months, we'll have a new entrance. And what we have done is also within that project for the south side entrance, we're also equipping that with an ADA opener as well, so that if this ever does happen again, at least that side has an ADA opener. We don't have to. Right now, Deputy Kelly has been very accommodating. He helps individuals that he watches the cameras all the time. So when he sees someone that's just not able to open the door, he will actually proactively get out of his chair and go open the door and hold it open for him, and then escort them to the proper place within the building. So we do have staff that have been doing that just to accommodate folks in the future, in the interim, until the solution's in place.
Anything further for Administrator? All right, would you like to go first, or? Okay, Commissioner Ray.
Thank you, Chair. I don't have a whole lot. I just want to say thank you to the folks who showed up to give public comment regarding their support or not support of the current proposed childcare millage. Thank you to Beth for championing the issue. It's a very important issue, and very important that we allow the voters to decide. I also wanted to, when we talk about the ARPA funds, want to reconvene the gun violence subcommittee to see if we can reallocate the remaining, I think it's $200,000 before we lose it, because it doesn't look like we're going to get any projects that we're looking for as far as the data. So if we could get that scheduled, that would be awesome. I don't know if the board needs to vote to reconvene the subcommittee, or if we can just meet Corporation Council.
Council.
Thank you, Madam Chair. If there was no disbandment, or if the committee had not been wound down and closed, it would just require a notice.
Yeah, it's just an ad hoc committee of the board that was tasked with reviewing ARPA funds for gun violence.
I think we voted on it, though. I don't know if we voted for a time frame, but I'm sure we voted because we named members.
Maybe because the same subject matter is up, though, it maybe then still applies to the ad hoc as it was created. Would that be right, Council?
That would be correct. And it was an ad hoc committee.
Yeah.
Then the chair could simply reconvene.
Okay.
Okay, absolutely, we'll do that.
Okay. I think I had one more thing. Oh, and the final thing was the housing conference that's coming up May in Lansing. I was trying to wait until we had the discussion regarding the process, but it doesn't look like it's coming, so I want to attend. I don't know who I need to reach out to. And that's all I have. Oh, thank you, Vice Chair Pro Tem Hepler, for your service.
Commissioner Morales.
I just wanted to make a motion. Continuing education for commissioners is very important to me. I'd like to make a motion that we approve funding for, and until this all, we won't have to later, but we approve funding for Commissioner Ray to attend the housing.
Support. A motion made by Vice Chair Taylor, supported by Commissioner Morales, to approve funding for Commissioner Ray to attend the housing conference. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. All right, now to Commissioner Morales. Nicely done, Commissioner Ray. All right, Commissioner Morales.
Thank you, Chair. Most of my questions have been answered. As far as the gallon of water, I know I'm beating a dead horse, Dr. Catlin, but have they thought about box water? Because a gallon of water would be more plastic that could possibly be bigger weaponry. So, I'm just trying to cover all aspects. And as Commissioner Ray said, one of the commissioners asked me why people are in jail. Because they are. And, we need officers, right? So, so seriously, I have had a flood of tags on Facebook, my inbox being full of folks just coming home and not having a pleasant experience. Not that, and I see comments like, what did they expect? Basic human rights, basic needs met when women are on their cycle. Like, because we have so many issues, one sanitary napkin might not be the best for myself who have fibroids and experienced too much loss, which led to infusions. And so when we have people in there, how are we handling that? I also had constituents complain that they were turning off, I guess, the alert buttons when they were trying to get service. I don't know how true that stuff is, but I just myself can't imagine, out of all the years I've had seen people go in and out of jail, this is the first time that I've heard so many folks with a bad experience. I think it's important, as Gisler holds his prioritize sign up, that's your cue, that that we that we prioritize this. Like, if we have funding, 7 bottles of water, is that 12 ounces? Is that 16 ounces? Like, what are we talking about? I don't know if they are able to cook. I've never been incarcerated, so I truly really don't know what the stipulations are. I did go visit the jail, and the sheriff did show me things that needed to, be made right. And I think that in this issue, I heard you say that we're trying to do some things, but I think we do need a solid timeline. Our tax dollars are going to that, and they're not going to stop arresting folks. And I want to make sure that people are getting, the number one thing we need is water, right? That's what you get contaminated water, that could be it. So I just want to make sure that we do prioritize water, getting box water in there if plastic is a concern. My email is flooded right now with support of the millage. I think it's important for folks to understand that nobody is saying no right now. You hear your yays and nays, but we haven't made a decision as a commissioner, and I'll speak to my district, although we hold all the districts, that I do support this, but there are some things that I would like to see edited in this to make almost everybody happy. Nobody is going to be happy. I'm not looking at you, Kevin. I'm just talking. What else do I have? Congratulations to all of the graduates from KVCC and Western Michigan University and K College that are coming up. This is important. I'm glad that WSA president came forth. I was a part of asking them for lots of money to do programming as an undergraduate. So I'm happy to see that we are looking to reinvest in college students. My hope is that as we talk about higher paying jobs, that we as a board make sure that happens right here so that we can keep our graduates here. That's all I have for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Morales. Commissioner Mazer. Commissioner Gisler.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to comment briefly about my first opportunity to sit in on drug treatment courts. And I happened to pick a chair in the jury box, I guess. And right next to me was Judge Schmay. And it was really a great way to start being exposed to those programs, because he was cluing me in on everything. He says, "Don't watch this, you know, she's going to get arrested all the way." And it was a female drug treatment court, and you know, she didn't know it, but you know, he was right. He said, you know, the two guys came out and took her away, and the next one was somebody that had done okay, but they'd missed a urine drop or something, and he said, "Oh, that's not good." So her time incarcerated is going to be extended by, you know, a week or something like that. It was a good introduction to the process. Anyway, the Kalamazoo Citizens for Responsible Government on May 11th will host, and this is in Portage on Romance Road at 8:30 in the morning. And we're going to have our illustrious administrator, Dr. Kevin Catlin, will inform us of everything that's important for the county. And anybody's welcome to attend it. We don't have any, you know, requirements. You just got to be there, and we aren't going to charge you, but we will hope that you'll maybe eat breakfast there, so it'll make us okay for the restaurant. Excuse me. And I do have a comment. I want to pay particular shout out to Terrell Cole, who arranged for me to have my ADA assistance now. And it was what? Yeah. Why? You thought I had an earmuff or something?
The Tigers game on.
No, yeah, right. No, this is, I'll pull it out. It's the same thing that they have over at the Health and Community Service. It's like, I think it's a Motorola or a Williams Sound. It looks like I guess it is not Motorola. It would be after an B&M. It's a W. And it's really cool. You stick it up there, and it took me longer to get it around my ear than anything else. And I can dial this up. Ooh, I just dialed myself off. I needed it primarily for Abby, because she's not here tonight. She tends to speak in a low voice, and my hearing aids just don't pick that up, even coming through the microphones. And she also will talk like this, and then she'll turn away as her voice drops off. And I told Kevin I probably missed 25% of what she has to say, and I don't want to do that because, you know, she makes good contributions. Anyway, thank you, Terrell. That's it.
Did you hear all that stuff I said about you?
Only the good stuff.
Commissioner DeLue.
I want to thank Commissioner Gissler for that uplifting drug treatment story there. That was a classic. And like Commissioner Ray said, I really appreciate when the citizens show up and make their comments known. It's nice having them show up in person. And with all this college talk tonight, I'm an alum of both Valley and Western, and look where I am today. So just two great institutions. We're lucky to have them in Kalamazoo. So thank you.
Thank you. All right, with nothing else before us, we are adjourned.